Everyone blames red meat for gout, but this everyday food is quietly doing far more damage. It packs purines so efficiently you'd think it was designed in a lab to ruin joints. People eat it constantly because it's cheap, fast, and deceptively protein-rich. The problem is that your body converts its purines into uric acid at hyperspeed. That spike triggers flare-ups faster than any steak ever could. Even moderation barely helps if you're sensitive, because it hits your system like a brick. Doctors have been warning about it for years, but of course everyone ignores them. Cutting it out leads to almost immediate improvement for most people. So yes, it's this healthy food ruining your week, not your Sunday roast. Everyone thinks curry was invented by their favorite culture, which is adorable and completely wrong. The earliest versions came from ancient spice blends used long before modern nations even existed. Traders carried those blends across continents, letting every region steal, remix, and rebrand them. British colonizers then slapped the word curry on everything because accuracy was optional. The result was a global identity crisis where no one agrees on what curry even is. Meanwhile, the original dishes were far simpler and used spices for medicine as much as flavor. Archaeological finds show curry-like cooking predates recorded history. Every culture added its own twist, which is why arguments about authentic curry are hilarious. So the true origin isn't a place, it's a long, messy exchange of ideas, trade, and stubborn cooks. People love to act like they invented grilling, but Africa was doing it before their ancestors figured out pottery. Ancient communities used open fire pits to slow-cook meat with shocking sophistication. Archaeologists have found grill sites thousands of years older than European settlements. These methods preserved meat, strengthened communities, and shaped early trade routes. Many modern barbecuing techniques directly descend from these ancient practices. But of course, no one gives credit because history loves ignoring African innovation. Seasoning blends and smoking styles traveled across the continent long before written language. They eventually influenced Middle Eastern and Mediterranean cooking without anyone acknowledging it. So the next time someone brags about their traditional grill, remind them Africa did it first. The earliest taco wasn't some Instagram-friendly masterpiece, it was a practical worker's food. Miners in Mexico folded tortillas around fillings because it kept their hands free and their stomachs full. The word taco originally referred to the little charges miners stuffed into rock, not food. Street vendors later transformed the idea into portable meals for urban workers. Different regions added their own fillings, making tacos a culinary battleground. Colonial influence reshaped ingredients, blending indigenous and European flavors. The modern taco became a global icon only after migrants brought it north. Fast food chains then butchered it into something unrecognizable, because of course they did. So the first taco wasn't glamorous, it was a tool for survival. Everyone romanticizes ramen, but its history began with economic desperation, not foodie worship. Early ramen shops fed poor laborers who needed cheap calories, not delicate flavors. Its rise was tied to industrialization, urban crowding, and poverty. During wartime, ramen became a survival food heavily pushed by the government. Post-war shortages turned it into a national necessity rather than a comfort dish. Instant ramen was literally created to prevent starvation, not to be a student stereotype. Companies later rewrote its history to appear trendy and artisanal. The modern hype hides decades of struggle, scarcity, and political manipulation. So the next perfect ramen bowl you post online? Yeah, that dish was built on hardship. Sushi began as a preservation method, not a luxury status symbol. Early versions wrapped fish in fermented rice, which was thrown away after curing. Chefs followed one non-negotiable rule: the fish had to ferment long enough to prevent disease. Flavor was a secondary concern, survival came first. As techniques improved, fermentation shortened and taste finally mattered. Regional methods emerged, each claiming superiority because humans love arguing. Only in the Edo period did sushi become fast, fresh, and recognizable. Modern sushi culture conveniently ignores its smelly, fermented beginnings. So yes, the ancestor of your fancy sushi roll was basically controlled rot. Pilaf spread faster than most empires because it was cheap, scalable, and impossible to screw up. Ancient rulers used it to feed armies since rice cooked evenly and absorbed flavors well. Merchants carried pilaf recipes along Silk Road routes, turning it into a diplomatic tool. Every region tweaked it, claiming their version was the authentic one, like insecure teenagers. Its ingredients signaled status: saffron for royalty, lamb for warriors, vegetables for everyone else. Pilaf gatherings often marked political alliances and celebrations. The dish traveled with conquerors and refugees alike, binding cultures through food. Its resilience made it a symbol of both abundance and survival. So pilaf didn't just feed Eurasia, it shaped it. Fried chicken wasn't invented because people were bored, it had spiritual significance. In several cultures, chicken symbolized prosperity, purity, or sacrifice. Communities fried it on special occasions to mark blessings or transitions. Enslaved cooks in America fused African techniques with European ingredients. That blend became a sacred meal for gatherings, worship, and resistance. Church events eventually turned it into a communal celebration food. Its flavors became tied to identity, pride, and shared history. Fast food chains later exploited it without understanding any of this heritage. So fried chicken isn't just comfort food, it's cultural memory on a plate. Long before Italy crowned itself the pizza capital of Earth, another civilization baked something suspiciously similar. Ancient Persians topped flatbread with cheese and herbs, pizza. It spread through trade routes, influencing Mediterranean cooking. Greeks had their own version, which also predates Italian claims. Italy refined it, branded it, and pretended they invented the whole concept. National pride loves a good revisionist history, after all. Archaeological evidence makes it obvious that pizza-like dishes were everywhere. But Italians will fight you before admitting anyone else contributed. So yes, pizza has an older cousin, Italians just don't want to talk about it. Americans treat barbecue like a national birthright, which is cute but absolutely wrong. The earliest written descriptions come from the Caribbean, not the U.S. mainland. Indigenous Taino people developed the barbacoa technique centuries before Europeans arrived. Their method focused on smoke, distance from flame, and long cooking times. Colonizers stole the technique and adapted it to their own meats. The style evolved differently in each region as cultures blended. America later branded barbecue as its own invention because branding is easier than honesty. The original creators rarely get credit, despite shaping modern cooking. So no, the first barbecue wasn't American, it was Caribbean genius.